On September 27th, the unthinkable stormed Appalachia. Philanthropist Randy and Jenny Boyd were prepared for what they saw during the nonstop news coverage.
We have a flood watch that is in effect
of Helene's torrential rains turned floods.
Helene moves near our area. This is day one of a 3-day stretch.
Walls of water consuming communities, bridges and roads reduced to rubble, lives and livelihoods wiped out. The Boyds knew in that moment they needed to help jumpstart the recovery.
When that Friday, when everything started happening and we started getting news of what was happening, particularly in Upper East Tennessee, what were you hearing? What were you thinking? How were you reacting with the initial news?
How bad is it?
I think, so we both have lots of friends up in that area, so we're worried about them. But, at the start, I think we were in disbelief because we don't have hurricanes in East Tennessee. This is not what we do. So it's not something that we're prepared for, and just didn't have any idea what the scope would be. You kept hearing about the flooding, but it took a few days for us to really realize just how terrible this was.
Our favorite place to stay in Asheville is the Grand Bohemian. And I would see pictures of the Grand Bohemian with the water level, It was terribly shocking. And also with Biltmore, the same thing, the water level. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, these are places that we go, we frequent. They're part of, our lives, if you will, if you visit Asheville frequently enough.
I can just add, when I was Commissioner of Economic and Community Development, spent a lot of time in places like Johnson County and Unicoi County and Cott County and Carter County. So these were places that we knew well, and they've always struggled. And so it just was terrible that a place that already had so many challenges had this added to them.
So when did you both decide, we're going to go up there and we want to see this for ourselves?
I'll say it was on the Saturday morning before the day we did. The whole week we're busy doing our lives and hearing all the news, and we kept thinking we want to do something.
How can we help? How can we help?
It was hard to know exactly what to do, but I thought, we know folks up there. They're probably working on Sunday because they have this is a 24/7 issue, and we have that day. Let's call and see if they'd be willing to see us. So Saturday morning we started calling around, and all the counties said they were willing to visit us. Jenny said that would be fine, and we got in the car and just drove up. And each of the communities had city council, county commission, city mayors, county mayors all come out to. UT County Extension agents all come out to meet us and
an emergency task team that was all set up.
Yeah, and share their stories with us.
So, what struck you when you went to these different places? What still resonates with you?
The sadness, the overwhelming nature of what had happened. I don't think that they weren't even being able to decide what they should do first. How could they do? How do you do that? How do you know what you need to have fixed first? The wastewater treatment was my thing, and then the fencing for the animals. And there's so many things.
I'll say one, it was just an overwhelming amount of damage. That was one of the things too, that we were thinking that we need to go and hear from them directly, because sitting here in Knoxville, you think, well, we could send water, we could send cans of food, but when you go up there, like I remember the mayor in Johnson County said, we got a warehouse full of water. We don't need more water. Well, we've got trailers coming up with feed and with hay, but all the fencing's been wiped out. So it's really very specific things that they needed help with, that it was good to go up and ask them and hear from them directly.
They needed prayers. That's what they asked for.
Yeah.
You, as a family, and with your foundation, decided $3.5 million for 4 counties in particular. That's a huge gift. I mean, it's a tremendous gift. But you obviously felt compelled that it was the right thing to do.
It didn't feel like much.
It doesn't feel like enough, but it felt like we've been blessed to be in a position to be able to give back. And again, there's so much need up there. It's going to take all of us giving what we can. We can't just sit back and wait for the federal government to save us. We can't wait for the state to save us. We've got to help ourselves. And that's what we do as Tennesseans. And so we were doing our part, and we're hopeful that everybody, no matter how much it is, can do their part. I want to say one other thing that when you asked about the thing that was impactful when we went through. It wasn't a very emotional day. We were very emotional for days afterwards. But I think the thing that we all have to remind ourselves is this won't be a quick fix. I remember talking to the mayor at Carter County, and she was saying that all their taxes for the county come from property taxes. Half the property has been wiped out, which means that their property taxes are going to be like cut in half, or their tax revenue will be cut in half. And you imagine any community, any organization suddenly losing 50% of their revenue, and how are they going to manage that? So while we can fix the water treatment facility, we can put up the fencing, there's going to be some long-term damage that's going to take decades maybe to overcome.
Yeah. So
I don't know how they're going to be able to stay in their community.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just the condition of the homes. And actually right now, you know, it's getting very cold at night. Some of these people refuse to leave.
And I've heard some are even living in tents.
Oh,
and
sure.
then, you know, now we're getting, you know, into the 30s at night. So it's
not good.
dire straits.
It is.
You two are part of the fabric of University of Tennessee, the volunteers. What can the volunteers do to all of us collectively, not just at the university? What can we do as a community to make it?
There's a lot of different nonprofit organizations they can reach out to and finding ways to help. I know some of the crew at the baseball stadium are taking their weekends to go up and help what they call mudding, but a lot of the buildings are just full of mud. Farmers are needing help putting up fencing. But reaching out to the local governments, reaching out to the nonprofits, and just finding ways in which you can contribute your talent, your treasure. They need both. And I know sometimes it's more rewarding to buy a box of food and send it up, but they really just need money because it's fungible. They can use it exactly for what they need when they need it. And so sometimes it doesn't feel as rewarding to just wire funds or mail a check, but that's probably the most useful.
There's people going up there and actually manually helping them too, which is needed also.
The manpower, woman power.
Yes.
And this money that you all are giving, this is for them to use at their discretion where the need is.
That's right.
That's right. Is there anything else that you would like to say that I haven't hit upon?
Just pray for them.
Yeah,
every day.
absolutely. A lot of prayers.
Yeah.
I'll say this, just one of the things that was very inspiring is how resolved they were to rebound. Nobody was giving up. They're going to keep fighting. It may take a while, but they were determined.
Will you all still stay connected? You know, this is an amazing gift
Oh,
to
we
give,
will.
but will you be following the progress?
Oh yeah, we're trying to find other ways that we can pull in other resources, encouraging friends to give. We've been have a friend, one of our old neighbors reached out with a double wide trailer and said, "Hey, do you think anybody would need it?" I sent a text message to the mayors, and immediately one of them knew a family that needed one. So there's just lots of things like that.
We put it on social media hoping that people would see that
And the University
that could help.
The University of Tennessee is stepping up. I was talking
That's
about my friend Brian Nolan as president of ETSU. They're doing all kinds of things. They've started making their dormitories available to people in the area. So there's like 30 families living in the dormitories
At
ETSU.
UT?
At
Oh,
ETSU.
ETSU,
Yeah,
okay,
which is
that's-
right in
okay.
Washington County, right in the middle of the area.
And yet the university did give as well, the Mountain Strong.
Yes, and,
So-
and our athletic department came up with the idea of the Mountain Strong T-shirts. We're hoping to raise maybe an additional $1 million to be able to give back to the community. There's so many ways in which we can help.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you both.
You bet. Thank you.
Yes.